Hi, everyone. My name is Divya. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm coming to you from California. Every week I say this, I need to learn the land acknowledgement from Sacramento, which is where I'm currently based. And as you know, with the dynamic vinyasa class that I teach on Thursday evenings, I alternate weeks between doing a slower meditative flow and a faster, more dynamic and strength-based flow. And this week we are doing the latter. We're going to get a little heat built up, get some of that tapas, that discipline and that passion going in today's flow, and kind of embody this warrior spirit that I feel like so much of the community is showing and rallying around our family and our community in India. So that is the theme for today's class, is tapas and discipline and resilience, and kind of building yourself up so you can be a strong support for others. So we'll start with our pranayam as per usual. So let's go ahead and get onto our mats. If you have any questions throughout class, feel free to just let me know. Message me, or just unmute yourself and let me know if you have any questions. You can go ahead and take a seat, whether it's in Sukhasana, easy pose, or if you want to take another posture like Padmasana to start getting into the body movement. I'm just going to take Sukhasana, ease into it. And I'm feeling the deep need for some Ujjayi breath today, some detoxifying, heating breath, which I think will help us in our practice. So start in Sukhasana, any easy pose. Let your palms face up so that you're receptive to the energy around you and you can draw strength from it. It's going to be a very simple pranayama practice today. Go ahead and let your gaze soften down to the floor, or close your eyes if you like. If breathing through the nose is comfortable for you, go ahead and seal your lips. Slightly tuck the chin down in towards the chest and simultaneously lift the chest up to meet the chin. They won't actually touch, but directionally have that sort of bind going. This is known as Jalandhara Bandha, or the chin bind, a really powerful bandha or sort of body lock to encourage flow of energy into our higher consciousness, and also helps us with Ujjayi breath. So to do Ujjayi breath, you'll go ahead and pin your tongue to the roof of your mouth such that it seals off the back of your throat. And then go ahead and start sipping in breath through the nose, slowly with control. And you'll feel a little bit more of a deeper oceanic sound with this breath when you flatten your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Just to draw your inhales deeper and longer with each cycle. Inviting in expansiveness through the chest, up through the crown of the head, drawing the spine nice and tall. As you exhale, keep this lengthen and expansion as you ground into your seat, growing roots underneath you and becoming one with the floor. Keep inhaling and exhaling with focus. Envision this idea that we can both firmly ground in reality, in our beliefs, in our truth, but we can also be open to growth and curiosity and betterment for the benefit of ourselves, of our community. This is just another way of thinking of sthira and sukha, which is a concept of effort and ease. It's always a push and pull, a tug of war between putting in effort, exerting yourself, and finding pockets of rest where that resilience is built, without which you cannot, once again, exert. So rest is integral to effort, just as effort is integral to rest. One more deep inhale. Exhale. On the next round, we'll inhale like usual, but when we exhale, we're going to open the mouth and exhale with a ha sound. So inhale. Let the sound vibration move through the body, releasing tension that our ego won't let go of, but the body knows how to let go. Let's try that one more time. Inhale deeply. Bring your energy back to the present. You can go ahead and flutter the eyes open if you like. Oh, gotta let someone in. And from there, as you inhale, let's have the hands out at the side. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead until the palms meet. And then as you exhale, left hand comes to the front, right hand goes behind you as you twist over your right shoulder, syncing the movement with your exhale. Keep your Ujjayi breath activated here. So exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center, arms up overhead. Exhale, twist over your left shoulder this time. Inhale, back to center. This time, as you exhale, bring your focus to your navel, pulling it back into the spine as you twist over your right shoulder, activating your Uddiyana Bandha or your abdominal bind. Inhale, arms up over center. Exhale, twist left. Once again, pinning your belly button back into the spine, hollowing out the belly so you can twist even deeper. Let's do this 3 more rounds a bit faster. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, over center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, release back down to the ground. Let's get into a little bit of just side body lateral stretches. So as you inhale, arms back up overhead. Ujjayi breath activated. Exhale, drop the right hand to the mat. Reach the left hand up and over to the right hand side, lifting your gaze up to look in towards the elbow. Try not to crunch too much down onto your right hip and instead actively lift the ribs away from the hips to still keep that, maintain that extension through the spine. Inhale, back to center, arms to touch. Exhale, drop the left hand down to the mat. Right arm reaches up and over to the left, gaze follows. Inhale, center. Let's do this 2 more times. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, release. So let's go ahead and come on to the hands and knees for Padmasana, tabletop pose. Go ahead and bring your knees as wide as the hips and have the knees directly under the hips as well. Palms can be under the shoulders, spaced apart as well, shoulder width. And let's practice our Hasta Bandha really quickly, our hand bind, which will protect our wrists throughout class and start to train our hands to have the same strength and grip and connection with the earth as our feet often do when we move through the world. So start by leaning back slightly on your wrist, picking up your fingers, even the roots of the fingers, and then gently, almost like you're trying to stretch the length of your hand from where your wrist is rooted, reach the fingertips forward and then gently rest the rest of the surface of your hand down on the mat. Pads of the fingers are last to touch. From here, go ahead and press your fingertips into the mat. Simultaneously press the roots of your fingers into the mat. And the final step is to imagine that you're sucking the mat into your palm. So you feel an activation through the center of the palm, almost like you're hollowing out the middle. What this position does is it takes the pressure off of the wrist joint and puts more of the work on the muscles in our hands and the structures in our hands to sustain us. Let's go through some Vyagrasana, or tiger pose, to activate some Agni and heat in the belly, releasing down to the tops of the feet. As you inhale, keep your right knee bent, but lift the foot up to the ceiling, flexing the foot, pushing the foot up as if you're trying to plant it to the ceiling. Simultaneously lift up through the crown of the head, looking up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, round forward, pulling the knee first forward and then up into the body. So you really use your Uddiyana Bandha here, engage your abdominal muscles and pull the knee up. So not just forward, we're not just kind of throwing the knee forward, pulling it forward and up. Keep your Hasta Bandha activated. Inhale, lift up, flex the foot. Exhale, round forward. Use your Ujjayi breath, 3 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale, round forward. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, round forward. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Shake it out. Let's do that on the left. Inhale, flex the left foot, lift the knee up. Lift up through the crown of the head, open through the chest. Exhale, round forward, knee forward and into the body. Round through the back of the spine if you need to make space for the knee. You can point your foot that's lifted to help kind of consolidate the body. Inhale, flex the foot, lift up. Exhale, round forward. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Flex the foot on the inhale. Exhale. Point the toe on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release. So let's stick around here on the mat for Balasana really quickly. Child's pose. So bring your knees as wide as the mat and then sink the hips back to sit down between the feet. Stretch the arms forward and just take a moment to rest here. Now, re-engage your Hasta Bandha, your hand bind. Grip the mat under your palms. Glue your forearms down to the mat now, so make sure that your elbows aren't lifted, but rather the elbows are the last point of contact with the mat. Upper arms lifted. Slightly lift your chest off the mat, so you're starting to engage through the abdominal muscles here. And as you inhale, my mat is very dirty. As you inhale, gaze forward, keeping your chest slightly lifted. Pull your chest forward. Now, when you get to about the point where your chest is at line with your elbows, it's going to be very tempting for your elbows to start to peel off the mat. This is where I want you to start to engage your triceps. So hug the triceps into the body to support you. Be stubborn about it if you can, and pull the chest through the hands, pushing up onto your hands and into cobra. You don't have to come all the way up. You can stay here too. When you're here, squeeze the elbows into the sides of the body and pull the shoulder blades into each other. You can come onto the tops of your feet. Exhale, push yourself back to child's pose, Balasana. We're going to do this for 10 cycles. That was 1 round. So inhale, pull forward. Exhale, Balasana. Inhale, forward. Exhale. Let's start to sync our Ujjayi breath with our movement. Inhale. Exhale. Try to make it one continuous movement. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to call that 7. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I lost count, so we're going to do 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Release to child's pose for a moment. Press your palms into the mat. Push the hips up into the air. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So once again, do not forget your Hasta Bandha here. This is especially important when we are doing late weight-bearing poses like downward dog. Activate through the finger pads, through the roots of the fingers. Put more weight at the root of your pointer and thumb than you are in the wrist joint. Gaze down between the knees or the navel to take pressure off of your cervical spine or the back of your neck. Once again, engaging the Jalandhara Bandha, which we've done before. Spin the elbows, which might want to go out to the side. Spin them down under the body to activate through your triceps, just like we did in our Bhujangasana push-up before this. Uddiyana Bandha, we've also done this before in our twist at the beginning. Pull the navel back and into the spine. And look between the feet, the knees, or towards the navel. One more breath. On your inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or walk the feet up. Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend the knees deeply, let the belly hang on the thighs. Grab your opposite elbows. Release the crown of the head down towards the mat so that your spine is being tractioned and lengthened here with the extra weight. Finding a little bit more release. Swing side to side to help kind of loosen out the kinks. From here, drop the hands down to the mat. Keeping your belly button pulled in, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time until you're up to a standing mountain pose Tadasana. So from here, the last bandha that I'd like to focus on for now is Pada Bandha. So lean back on your heels. Space your feet about, as comfortable as it is for you to just stand upright. Lean back on your heels slightly, peel the toes off the mat, just like we did for Hasta Bandha. And then slowly fan the toes out as you lay them back down to the mat one at a time, starting from the outside and moving in. When you have all your toes down, now grip the mat underneath the toe mounds and feel what it feels like to really root yourself into the mat, almost like you're growing roots underneath your mat, rather than just sort of passively standing there. This posture is what makes us really stable in our standing balances. All right, from here, inhale, lift the arms up overhead, stretching through the fingertips, slight bend in the upper back. Lift the gaze up to the ceiling if you can. Let's take a moment here. If your ribs are jutting out, go ahead and knit them back in towards the body. Tuck the tailbone in slightly. Roll the shoulders down the spine. Lift up through the fingertips and find length and a little bit of expansion through the crown of the head here to assist with the back bend. Exhale, bring your hands through the heart, hinge at the hips, bowing forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Here, roll back and forth on the heels and toes until you find a center of balance. Release the crown of the head down to the mat. We've done that before too. As you inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Hands can be on the ground or the shins as you reach the crown of the head forward. Try not to lean too back. Pinch the shoulder blades in together so that you can open through the chest rather than compressing down here. We want to still open up through the spine. And reach the crown of the head forward rather than having it tucked down. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, Phalakasana, plank pose. You can also do this on your knees if you like, but if you'd like to try out Phalakasana, push back through the heels here rather than leaning forward. Actively plant your feet on a wall, an imaginary wall behind you. Tuck the tailbone in, engage through the core. And once again, engage your Hasta Bandha. Push the mat away rather than falling into it. And round the shoulder blades around the sides of the body rather than squishing them in. Push the mat away. From here, drop the knees. And just like before, keep the elbows tucked into the sides of the body as you release your chest down to the mat. Hips stay lifted. Bhujangasana. Inhale, pull the chest through, come onto the tops of the feet. Lift the chest up. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Pinch the shoulder blades together to open through the chest. Try not to overarch your spine. You can activate through the glutes here to help protect the lower back and also pull the belly button in. Otherwise, it's quite a strain on the lower back. Actively push down into the tops of your feet and look straight ahead. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet up, Uttanasana, forward fold, release. Let's get a bit faster now. Reactivate your Ujjayi breath if you lost it. Inhale, arms up overhead. Urdhva Hastasana, exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, Baladasana. Release. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. One breath. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet up. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, Baladasana, plank pose. Continue down. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Listen for the change. Step your feet a little bit wider apart so they're about hip width apart. Reactivate through your Baddha Bandha, your foot bind. Start to sink the hips down into a deep low squat. And then from here, lift the chest up. And then lift the arms up into the air as well for chair pose, Utkatasana. So from here, starting with the feet, you are activating through Baddha Bandha. Additionally, envision that you are splitting the mat in half with your feet so that you activate all the way up through the leg muscles, through the inner thighs, all the way up into the hips. Sit your hips low as is comfortable with your knees. And then we're gonna activate our Mula Bandha, which is the root lock. So you wanna sort of have a lifting sensation through the groin, almost like you're trying to pull your seat up into your spine, just using your inner muscles. So you're kind of getting like a zoom. I need to work on my descriptions for that bandha because I don't think I can just keep making sound effects and getting away with it. Okay, so activating through the Uddiyana Bandha, pulling the belly button not only back to the spine, but back and then up towards the back of the rib cage. Almost hollowing out the belly as we go. Lift up through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades in together and lift the arms up. And you're reaching all the way through the fingertips here to keep the spine elongated. We're gonna go through what's known as a Betak, which is a wrestling type of squat in India. We're going to almost swivel our hands down. So we're gonna do a deep, forceful exhale as we spin our hands underneath us and lift them back up. As we go back, we're gonna sit back even lower. So the full movement looks like this. It's okay if your heels pick up a little, so. And as your hands swing forward, start inhaling when you're about at hip width. Inhaling from here up. So let's do this 5 times together. Short, forceful breaths. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, release, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back, Baladasana, release. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 1 breath here. Get yourself as aligned as possible. From here, inhale, lift the right leg high. Stretch all the way from your fingertips through the right toes and try to keep your hips level with the mat rather than peeling the right hip up. From here, remember what we did in Vyagrasana. Keep the knee pulled forward, but also into the body as you lean the whole body forward till your shoulders are above the wrists. And then plant the hands down, plant the foot down behind the hand for Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Keep pushing back actively through the left heel. Sink the hips down so they're not lifted. When you're ready, go ahead and spin the left heel down so it's flush with the mat. Put pressure into the inner toe, big toe mound on your right foot, simultaneously pushing into the outer edge of your foot behind you, where your pinky toe would be. When you feel stable, inhale, float the arms up for Virabhadrasana. 1, warrior 1. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, lift up through the fingertips, get expansion through the spine. Roll those shoulders down away from the ears. Exhale, sink deeply into the front knee. Yes, my knee did just crack. That's what happened. Try to pull your left hip forward while pulling back into your right hip crease to level the hips. Fix your gaze forward, your drishti, or you can look up towards your palms. Healer's choice. As you exhale, open the arms out to the front and back of the mat, keeping your legs as they are, but now reaching through the front and back fingertips for warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Let's find some stillness here for just a moment. There's a lot of power to be had in this pose, grounding down through the feet, through the toe mounds, through the soles of the feet, activating through the inner thighs. Energetically, we're pulling our thighs and our feet together, even though they're so far apart on the mat. So really imagine that you're trying to squeeze them together. Shoulders are rolled down away from the ears. Gaze over the front hand. Inhale, lift the right hand up overhead, left hand comes down to the thigh. Viparita Virabhadrasana. Gaze follows the right hand. And just like earlier, try not to collapse into your left hip and instead lift your ribs up and out of the hips. And exhale, cartwheel the hands back down to the mat to frame the right foot. Pick up your back heel. And exhale, push back, downward facing dog. All right, inhale, lift your left leg high, stretching all the way from the fingers to the toes. Exhale, bend the knee, pulling it into the body. As you shift your weight forward, shoulders over wrists, plant the foot down behind the left palm, Anjaneyasana. Go ahead and pull the weight down into the left big toe mound as you spin your right heel down to the mat, gluing the outer edge of the foot down. Inhale, lift up, Virabhadrasana 1. Same deal. Pull the right hip forward while pulling back into the left hip crease. Tuck the tailbone in slightly so you're not overarching your lower back. Gaze forward or up between the hands. And find some steadiness here. Figure out where the effort lies in this pose for you. It's different for everyone. Maybe it's a struggle to keep your legs still. Or maybe they're very perfectly still and comfortable. Maybe the struggle comes in aligning the hips. Or maybe there's effort to be had in keeping the shoulders down away from the ears so that the neck has space to expand and lengthen. Or maybe it's the drishti, maybe lifting the gaze up between the hands. Maybe it can be destabilizing, or maybe it doesn't have to be. Exhale, open the arms out to the front and back of the mat, reaching through your fingertips. Once again, energetically, we're pulling our legs in together, so feel that effort there, rather than just kind of letting your feet be where they are. Think of them as intentionally being there, but your thighs are still pulling in together. So the effort is one that we create. There doesn't have to be effort in Virabhadrasana. If you want to take a more sukha approach, you can just lean into your front leg, lean into your back outer edge of your foot, and you could be here. Or you could seek the stira, the effort, and say, my legs are far apart, but I'm going to try to pull them in together, and immediately there's the effort. Inhale, flip the left palm, lift it up and overhead. Right hand comes to the thigh. Gaze follows the lifted hand. That might throw you off balance. That's all right to wobble and then rediscover your stability. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot. Pick up your back heel, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit down low, activate through the root, lift up through the fingertips. We'll take 3 Betaks this time, not 5. Let's start. 1, 2, 3. And exhale, release down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Balasana, plank pose. Drop down. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana. 1, 2. Exhale. Inhale, 3. Exhale. Anjaneyasana to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana. 1. Warrior 1. Exhale, 2. Inhale, Viparita. Reverse, and exhale, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Inhale, step back, downward facing dog. And exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. This is your opportunity to re-engage your Ujjayi breath if it has seemed to fade away in strength or maybe completely. Let's bring it back. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Betaks. 2, 3. And exhale, release, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plank pose, Balasana. Drop down. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana. 1. Exhale, 2. Inhale, 3. Exhale, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, Balasana. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana. 1. Exhale, 2. Inhale, 3. Exhale, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, plank pose, Balasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. All right, Utkatasana again. Inhale, lift up. Last round of Betaks, make it your best. Exhale, 1. Exhale, 2. Last one, exhale, 3. And release down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose, Balasana. Drop down. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna start moving around in circles in mandalas, which is what it's a sort of circular sacred pattern. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, listen for the change. Reach the right hand forward. Drop it down to the mat next to the right foot. And as you exhale, completely exhale, lift your left hand up and overhead. Let me turn around to face you. Left hand up overhead. As you exhale, sweep the hands down so it's under your shoulder, paralleling your right foot with your left as you go. We should be on the left long side of the mat now. For Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Plant the hands under the shoulders. Inhale as you press the mat away, lengthening the spine and reaching the crown of the head forward. Ground down through your feet. Try not to let your toes pick up. Exhale, release down to the mat. These patterns should feel quite familiar to Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, and Uttanasana, forward fold. The only difference is our legs are wider apart. As you inhale, turn the toes out slightly. Lift up for star pose. I always forget the name for this one. Work on remembering that. And as you exhale, we're going to turn over to the left-hand side for warrior 2. So if I'm sticking with how I'm starting, we're now facing the back of the mat in warrior 2. Left foot forward, right leg back. Inhale, reverse warrior. Left hand goes up and behind. Right hand falls to the thigh. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat, picking up the back foot as you go. Inhale, left leg high into the air. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once again, inhale, right leg high up in the air. Exhale, Anjaneyasana. Right knee forward, left leg back. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Plant the right hand down by the knee. Left hand reaches up and overhead. Inhale, walk the hands over to the left side, respectively to where we were. Left side of the mat, plant the hands under the shoulders. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift all the way up. Arms reach out to the sides. Exhale, turn the left foot back to the front of the mat where we started. Push your right heel back. Ooh, can't have that wall. Sink over the left foot. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana, over the left knee. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot. Pick up the right heel. Anjaneyasana. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, release. Take one breath here. All right. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, Anjaneyasana for low lunge. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Plant the left hand down inside the left foot. Right hand spins forward and up overhead. Inhale, parallel the left foot with the right. Come over to the right long side of the mat. Plant the hands under the shoulders. Inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, warrior two to the back of the mat. Right knee forward. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to frame the right foot, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, release downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, Anjaneyasana, left leg forward. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. So we're facing the back of the mat right now. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Sink deeply over the left knee. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Left hand plants down by the foot. Right hand sweeps up and overhead. Inhale, parallel the left foot with the right. Reach the crown of the head forward, extending through the spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up and overhead. Arms reach out to the side like an X. Exhale, warrior two to the front of the mat over the right knee. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Anjaneyasana, right knee forward, left leg back. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, drop the legs. Drop the knees into a wide-legged balasana. Let your hips sink down between the legs, stretch the arms forward. Just 2 more breaths here for a brief pause in between work. We have one last sort of push of sthira, of effort. One more breath here. Inhale, sip the breath in deeply, activate your Ujjayi breath. Exhale. Inhale. As you exhale, push the hips back, coming to downward facing dog. We're gonna try what's known as a yoga dand, or sort of a yoga push-up. Also drawing from elements of Indian martial arts. So activate your Hasta Bandha. And this time, you can also do this on your knees. You don't need to be up. You can definitely practice this through your knees as well. In fact, let's actually all start on our knees to demonstrate the movement of the spine. And then if you like more of an arm balance challenge, you can lift your hips up. So from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna drop the chest down to the mat. We sort of done this movement in the beginning of the class. You're gonna drop your chest down to the mat, and while you're doing that, rather than having your elbows go out wide, keep them glued into the sides of the body and the sides of the chest, elbows pointing directly back as you lower your chest down. It's gonna be tempting to sink your hips back and let your chest come down here. That's not what we're doing. We're gonna keep the chest coming down towards the palms. As you inhale, pull the chest forward, coming into an upward facing dog. So you can start back here. And then you're gonna exhale as you push forward. So start with a deep inhale when you're up. Exhale. So just like the Betak, we're gonna exhale when we exert. So just saying X with X, exhale when you exert. And this is slightly different than the yogic style. This is definitely a principle of martial arts. When you exert, when you want to demonstrate momentum, or you want to lift yourself up to do some kind of action, like a kick or a slice, exhales give you a little bit more power. So it's kind of a different way to use the breath than we traditionally do in yoga. So inhale, come up, exhale, one rotation. And let's just do as many as we can for, let's do a timer. Let me get my timer. I hope you guys like things like this. I'll get feedback at the end of class. Let's do 30 seconds. Starting now. Try to keep count if you can. All right, that's time. I did not keep count, but you know, what else is new? That's my thing. I guess that's my quirk. I tell people to keep count and then I don't. Anyway, plop back up, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, come forward like you're coming to Anjaneyasana, but this time bring your right foot to the outside of your right palm. Drop the back knee down, come to the top of the foot for lizard pose. You can stay right here in active lizard if you like, with the hands down on the mat, spine lifted forward, gaze also moving forward. Feel free, if you want more of a hip stretch, come down to the forearms or the forehead. But choose where you're going to be. You can also fold in the left side of your mat if your knee needs a little cushion. Mine definitely does. Let's hold here for about 3 breaths. Keep using your Ujjayi breath here. Just draw the breath longer and deeper. We're generating a lot of heat today in our movement, so it's very effective to combine this with Ujjayi breath to turn on the detoxification qualities of this type of breathing. When we heat the body and use this breath, we're able to more powerfully draw toxins out of the tissues that are deeply stored in there and root them out, bring them to the surface, and then expel them with our breath, with our exhales. All right, go ahead and sink the hips back. Straightening out the right leg as you go, come to the top of the left foot, flex your right foot as you come down. Try to keep your knee straight if you can, so you can get a nice stretch through the hamstring, the back of the leg. And then come back to the front. Lift the right leg back and bring yourself back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, same deal. Come to the front, but this time bring your left leg to the outside of your left hand. Come to the top of your right foot for lizard pose. Push the mat away, lift up through the chest, through the crown of the head. Stay here or come down to the forearms if you like more of a sensation in the hip joint. 3 breaths. Listen to what your breath is telling you. Where does the breath flow smoothly and effortlessly? Where does the breath get strained and maybe a little shaky, and figure out how can you target the breath to reach that part of the body? How can you release some of the tension? Remember, oftentimes the tension that we hold on to is due to our own ego or our fear of what happens when we let go. So maybe we bring back that breath to let our sound vibration and the breath release what we can't release on our own. Go ahead and sit your hips back, come to the top of the foot. Bring your left foot in between the palms, flex through the foot, sit your hips back, get a nice deep stretch through the hamstrings. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back, downward facing dog. Drop the knees, sink the hips back for a brief child's pose, Balasana. And then come forward onto your belly with your hands down at the sides, palms face down, palms face down. We'll go through some Shalabhasana, locust pose, just to activate through the back of the body, the back core. As you inhale, peel your chest up off the mat, lift your hands up off the mat while keeping them tucked into the sides of the body and not flaying outwards. And then you're gonna lift your thighs and your feet up off the mat too. Toes are pointed, everything is reaching. So you're really crunching into the center of the back body. And imagine that you're reaching your fingertips towards your toes. Still pull in through the belly button here. Try not to puff out through the belly. Pull in through the core so that you can actually further flex your back. Get closer into your back bend. And exhale, release. We'll do that 2 more times. Feel free each time to turn your face to a different side, just to stretch out opposite sides of the neck. All right, get ready. Inhale, lift up, Shalabhasana. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Bring the hands down under the shoulders, push yourself up and back to child's pose. From here, cross the legs under the body, come down to a seat. Bring your legs out in front of you, stretched long for Dandasana, stack pose. Flex your feet when you're fully extended. Maybe pull some of the flesh out of the way so you can sit down on your sitting bones. Lift up through the crown of the head. Once again, finding that expansion through the back of the spine. Reach the crown of the head up. Uddiyana Bandha engaged. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, start to bend forward, hinging at the hips as you reach through your fingertips. Try not to curve through the spine just yet. Make the focus on your fingertips, reaching forward, extending. And when you're at your limit, your threshold, just release right there and let your hands fall down wherever they may. Let the spine soften and round forward. Release the forehead. Soften the breath. Lift back up. Keeping your Uddiyana Bandha engaged. Slowly start to sink back down onto your mat. You can use opposing forces here. So reach your fingertips forward, engage Uddiyana Bandha, roll the spine back down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Then lay yourself down. One final posture before we settle in for some Shavasana. Bend the knees, lift them up into the air. Grab the outside edges of your feet, wrapping your fingers around them. And pull them down towards the earth for Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. This is a great hip opener. We did a lot of hip work today. So really enjoy the juiciness of this posture. If you feel like you want to stretch through the inner thighs more, straighten the legs. Or if you're content with a deep hip sensation, bend the knees as deeply as you like and just rock forwards or side to side to sort of massage the joint a little bit. When you're good to go, gently release the legs down to the mat. Release the hands down by the sides. And settle in for Shavasana. Relax your breath, let go of any effort. Let the air flow in and out naturally. Slowly start bringing awareness back into the body. Maybe squeezing through the fingertips, rolling the toes left to right, back and forth. Roll on to your favorite side. Pausing for just a moment. And then go ahead and push yourself up to a seat. I would love to close class with a collective Om, and Om as a sacred sound and a chant all in itself. It's both a sound and a complete word. If you feel so inclined, you can unmute yourself so that we can all kind of join in this sound energy together. I always think that it's more powerful if we do so. If you're concerned about how you sound or pitch or anything, I would just say don't feel the need to do that, but there's no pressure. You don't have to unmute yourself either. So go ahead and sit the spine up nice and tall. And bring your hands together at your heart if you like. Eyes can flutter to a close. Take a deep inhale. Do 2 more. Inhale. Inhale. All right, that officially concludes today's practice. I hope that you all enjoyed it today, got a nice mix of Sthita and Sukha.